Rick Jensen on 1150 AM, 1017 FM, WDEL.
Jim Norton. I think he's getting to the point now where people know who Jim Norton is, right? You know, he's on Opie and Anthony for a long, long time. He's been an Irishman and a couple of best-selling books. He's traveling to Delaware this Saturday night. The Queen, buy tickets. Go see him. He's funny. In fact, maybe if you're lucky, he'll tell you the story about going to a bris. And Randy, producer Randy, is a super fan. Jim's on the phone right now. Jim Norton, thanks for being on, man. How are you?
Hey, how you doing? And thank you, Randy. It's nice to hear. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man. I am so stoked. This is like Christmas and my birthday all in one.
So this is the part that I'm trying to get Randy over. He's going to be like Chris Farley on Saturday Night Live, and you're Paul McCartney.
Remember
when?
when?
I mean, I will disappoint you. That's the beautiful thing about this interview. You will walk away being disappointed.
Perfect.
So I'm happy for both of us.
You've met my expectations. Awesome. But you, dude, I'll tell you what. No, you are funny as all get out. And like I said, sometimes it's you can't use a lot of language here on the radio that you can on your serious radio show, stuff like that. But it's not like you just throw out the F word and stuff like that for no good reason. You actually use it, I think, pretty well as punctuation. So how much of this just comes to you when you're doing this, and how much of it is, I'm going to say this word there?
It all just kind of happens. Like, it's one of those things where, since most of my personal life is a disaster, that when something goes wrong, or if I fail in bed yet again, I'm like, great, I can talk about this. So bits are created in my real life being disastrous, and I say, this is what I'm going to do. I'll just talk about this tonight. That's the good thing part about having a life that falls apart.
Yeah, that's how you benefit from that. That's perfect. You see, and then once someone like you goes through therapy, then everything's ruined. You got to use this as a way to get all this stuff out, don't you?
No, I've been going to therapy for many years, and it has not helped at all. So, no, therapy hasn't hurt me, probably because therapy has not been working for me. I'm no healthier than I was 20 years ago. So, therapy doesn't hurt my act at all.
I'm glad it's working for you then.
I don't know if it is or not, to be honest with you. It's almost like I still want to throw myself off the balcony, but now I'm like, all right, let me call somebody before I do it.
And the other thing is this. Now there's a million people out here who would like to catch you because you're so entertaining. But I do want to get to this thing. You did this really funny bit. I've seen a bunch of your stuff lately now. But you're talking about going to a bris, and of course, people who know what that is. It's a circumcision. It's a Jewish tradition and everything. And you're describing all the food there and stuff. And I can't play the whole thing, because A, it's long, and B, you get a little dirty. But it is hilarious. And this is all based on a true story?
Thank you. Yeah, that was. I went to my friend's house. I knew what it was, but I didn't understand, I think, what exactly it would entail, and that there would be no anesthesia. Oh, yeah, the whole thing is pretty true to life the way I told it. The guttural noises the kid made, because I obviously went through it myself, but I don't remember it. And it was in a hospital. It wasn't sitting on my dad's lap while the Giants game was on in the background. It was a horrible experience, really traumatic, and I felt bad for the baby.
I love the point where you have the microphone and you're looking down at the floor and you're doing stand up in the round, and you say to the kid, "Yeah, you're smiling and happy now, kid, but it's not the party you think it's going to be. The rest of this day is going to suck." And everybody just fell apart.
All right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that's true. The kid was in a great little mood, laughing, and knowing what was coming. I'm like, it's really weird to watch someone. It's almost like watching an airline disaster documentary.
Right.
You show all the passengers happy getting on the plane, and you're like, you guys have no idea you're going to wind up in a field in 20 minutes.
Oh, no. But you said they served some snacks and cheese and crackers. I want to ask one more question before we get to Randy here, and that is this. So at the bris, do they serve like Vienna sausages or mushroom caps, anything like that?
I don't remember. I'm thinking of black. I'm thinking it would have been a fine choice if they had them.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what they had. I remember not really having a great big appetite, though. Like watching that, it's really hard to watch that
Yes.
and go, God, you know what? I'm hungry.
No, true. All right, Randy is a super fan. Now, are you cool now, Randy?
Yes, and I'm just going to lather him up because it's my interviewing style. So
Okay.
forgive me. But sir, in 2001, I had this miserable job installing countertops, and we hear that morning during the Stern show, we hear there's a new show coming on, Opie and Anthony, and it's going to be on at 3:00. So at 2:59, we were curious what it was. So we go out to have a smoke, and we crank up the radio, and we're like, at the first few minutes, we're like, hey, these guys are just flipping off the Stern show. And then about half an hour into it, we're like, this is actually, they're taking the Stern show to the next level. And I don't know that you were necessarily on that exact day, but I instantly became a super fan. And I know I'm not 100% on the timeline what day you became a full-time member. I know you were a guest and then a frequent guest and then a full-time third mic on the show. And when you guys got fired in 2002, I was devastated because your show made my life just, I had this miserable job where we never, at 5:00, it wasn't like, well, it's 5, we'll put the tools away and go home. We'll come back to this house that's an hour away and finish this countertop install. We would work till dark every night, and I just hated it. But at least at 3:00, you made sitting in traffic a pleasure. Instead of just being stressed out and hating life, your show was so funny. I mean, one time my wife and I went down to Wildwood. And we're down the shore. It's supposed to be down there till night, and we're both sitting there. And I get up the nerve to say, would you mind if we leave early? So while we're driving home for the 3-hour drive home, we can listen.
Oh, right.
I mean, I'm not making any of this up or exaggerating in any way, shape, or form. Your show was phenomenal, and it's because of you and Anthony Cumia. I mean, the chemistry between you and Anthony is just unbelievable. And I get the feeling that the show was you trying to make Anthony laugh and Anthony trying to make you laugh. And Opie had a purpose.
A lot of it was, yes.
I'm sorry?
I said a lot of that was true, like as far as us trying to make each other laugh, because you didn't have an audience. So just having your friend there, it absolutely helped. I wanted both of those guys to laugh, or whoever was in the room, but it really does just become about that room. You guys know, doing radio, like you can't see what people in the car are doing. I always assumed that I was telling jokes that people were backing into their garage, putting a towel in the window, and putting a hose in the exhaust pipe. That's what I was going for.
Yeah, but let me say this too. So,
and I was not there in the beginning.
There's like 1 million people in this country now, like Randy, and you even said that sometimes you get bummed out, you get depressed, and sometimes your life has really sucked. But at this time now, Jim, you got so many people who are super fans of you, like Randy. That's got to get you going, man, and bring you up when you're feeling down, right?
It does feel good, but it's always fans that are named Randy or Michael or Joseph. It's never Amber or some stripper name. It's never a woman. Like, you know what I mean? It's always a guy, which is great. But I'm happy you're a fan. But it's never a girl who's like, I had my implants and I listen to your show. It's always some guy going, yeah, I took a dump into a bucket and I was building a countertop. That's my fan base. So I appreciate it very much. But it's never women. It's always guys.
Dude, if I may, when you wrote one of your best-selling books, I mean, you're talking about your meat breasts and stuff. I mean, it's not like you're describing yourself.
Yes.
It's not like you're describing yourself in such a complimentary way. I mean, someone's got to say something good about you.
You raise a good point.
Yeah.
You raise a good point. I don't exactly sell myself well to women either. I'm talking about my side blubber. Like, without a shirt, my body looks like a baggie with a goldfish in it. That doesn't make a woman want to have sex with you. That makes a guy relate to you. You're right, actually. You've kind of just explained it. You're correct.
You did it much better. Way to go, dude. You see? And I think this is why people love you. You're flat out with it. Like, this is who I am. This is what I am. In fact, even who did you play in The Irishman? Great movie that I didn't see. Randy did. I'm not going to pretend. 3 hours long. I got buddies of mine who worked on unions. They're older guys, and they knew this guy. And they said there's no way he could have done all this stuff they said he did in the movie. But you, man, this is a big role, and you got to play a big name in the movie. Tell us.
I played Dick Gregory, comedian.
You lion sack of fish blubber. That's funny.
No, I played Rickles in a nightclub scene in the Copacabana. It was a true thing that happened. Like I forget the real mob guy's names. I mean, obviously Frank and I forget the Pesci's character's name. But they went to Russell Buffalino. They went to a nightclub and saw Rickles. And Sebastian Maniscalco played, I forget the other guy's name, Bobby something, am I crazy? But it was a mob scene that actually happened, so I played Rickles in that.
So here's what I want you to know. And I don't want to, I'm afraid if we're too complimentary, it takes away from his edge, because you have a funny edge to you. But there's a million guys in this country that look like Don Rickles, all right? A million guys look like Don Rickles, and they probably have side blubber as well. You are the only one. No, Jim Norton, you are the only one in the whole country, the whole world, to get paid for looking like Don Rickles. Way to go. See? This is your superpower, my friend.
That is true. The same thing that kept women from sleeping with me in high school actually made Scorsese go, I'd like to work with this guy. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I didn't even have to audition. Scorsese watched a couple of my specials. I went in and met with him, and we had a conversation, and he just cast me from that. So it really was a dream gig. And I think De Niro helped get me into it because he had, in this opening of Mouthful of Shame, De Niro spanked me. Like he in a scene. So I think that he really liked my ass, and he said, I want to work with this kid again. So he got me out to the set of The Irishman. I think that was partially how it happened, too. De Niro really liked my bare bottom.
Dude, I got to tell you, I mean, if Steve Buscemi can get chicks, you can. All right?
Yeah, but Steve Buscemi's a better actor. And he was in Fargo, and he was in The Sopranos. I only played Rickles briefly. And he was starting Boardwalk Empire. There's a charisma to Buscemi, which I don't have. Like, he's hideous looking, but he's comfortable being hideous looking. Like, I'm awful looking, and I hate that I'm awful looking. He's comfortable with looking terrible.
Yeah.
And Buscemi has the best line in The Sopranos when Tony goes, they got a good look at the guy who killed Peeps. The only thing we can tell so far, he's got a limp. Long John Silver, maybe.
Nice.
But
yeah, he's great. Steve Buscemi is one of my favorite people. He's phenomenal.
Now, you talked about working on construction sites, and that is all the guys that were listening. I mean, we would pull up the sites, and there the flooring guys would have you on, the tile guys would have you on, and it was awesome. That was a good day. If somebody had on the classic rock station playing Boston More Than a Feeling, it was a bad day. But if a lot of times other guys had you on, all construction guys. And you mentioned about using a spackle bucket as a bathroom, and you were asking Anthony about installing air conditioning. And you're such a good storyteller and such a great interviewer because you were a clean slate. You're like, what's that place under your shingles? And he's like, yeah, in the attic. Yeah, were you in there putting in? And Anthony's like, yeah, we would be up there running duct work. And you're like, what is duct work? I mean, it was the funniest segment of radio.
Yeah,
just you being a clean slate and asking Anthony. And again, you two are the funniest two people in radio of all time, and I totally mean that. If I had to pick
Thank you so much.
If I had to pick a third person. And people are sitting out there, then Opie. No, Billy West from the Stern Show would be my third favorite person because of the voices he was doing back then, who I think he probably influenced Ant. But
so where does vodka fall in this list? You got Anthony, you got Billy West. Where's vodka? Number 3 then?
Number 4. Vodka's my fourth biggest influence.
Okay, and your 5th would be Hamm's.
Yes, Hamm's beer.
Yeah, Hamm's beer, and that would be the suitcase, not just the 12-pack.
Yes.
Alrighty.
And Anthony's, by the way, Anthony's storytelling and ability to talk about anything, that's why the show worked too. Like, Anthony could be funny describing anything. Like, he could literally talk about ductwork and be interesting. Like, I'm a good joke teller, but I don't tell a story well. Like on 9/11, if I made it out of one of the buildings alive, I would still lose people halfway through the story. Anthony's genius is that he can take anything and make you interested in it. That's Anthony's brilliance.
No. I'm going to disagree with you. I mean, not that he isn't great, because he is great, but I've seen a lot of your stuff online. And you're going to be at the Grand on Saturday.
Queen.
The Queen. Yeah, that's right. That's what I said.
Queen
the Queen.
Theater.
Of course, I said the Queen Theater. Yeah, of course I did. So the Queen Theater on Saturday night, and folks, go online. The tickets at the Queen. Go ahead and buy your tickets, because the real truth, Jim Norton, is that you are an excellent storyteller, and you keep people enthralled, and you make them laugh throughout the story.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, and it's actually a really good gig. I never want to talk highly of myself, but I love that gig, and I'm happy to actually be going back. I had it scheduled already. I think this is a reschedule because of the pandemic, so I'm glad that people are coming out.
What Jimmy does, he does character voices. So he just creates his own. So he's not doing an impersonation of a celebrity per se, but he creates out of thin air these characters, and they just. I mean, like the Chip Chipperson show, he doesn't break character. The whole show is him not breaking character. And he does Uncle Paul, he does Ted Scheckler, who every store is an emporium. And he's just a genius with this stuff. And he actually scammed a television show. You tell us when you scammed that Ghost show. Now, you had to do this, and it aired like months later.
Oh, God. Do you know it's funny you mentioned that? I just saw the guy who produced that show on the street yesterday walking from the bank. Yeah, I was on Celebrity Ghost Stories, and I had a weird thing happen in a hotel when I was opening for Dice at the Stardust. And it was very mild, but they had me do Celebrity Ghost Stories. So I just kind of made up a lot of it, but it was all inside jokes that nobody would think is funny unless you were a listener of the Opie and Anthony show. And so the fans kind of liked it because they knew that I was just lying and making up inside jokes to make them happy, which is kind of what you do with a radio audience. You guys know how it is. Like things that nobody else would enjoy, your audience enjoys because they listen to the radio show. So, yeah, I basically just lied on television to make 30 incels happy.
And it wasn't like it was going to air that night. It took months to produce it and all that. So he had to keep this under wraps. Yeah. How he has the ability to do that, just unbelievable. And all for a laugh. He did it all, obviously for a laugh.
Nice.
And I don't want to sell you short. You do the best Jodie Foster impersonation. I think that's your one celebrity.
And of any guy? Or just anyone at all?
I heard him do.
Thank you very much. I really do. I'll be opening with it at the Queen. I really do. Dr. Lecter, you were telling me the truth back in Baltimore, sir. Oh, people love it. Now that Hinckley's out of jail and touring, I'm going to do a whole Jodie Foster, John Hinckley thing. It's going to be a real hit.
Wait a second. I want to hear the very best Jodie Foster that you could do. In fact, you could lie and say, "Hi, it's Jodie Foster," and I listen to Rick Jensen and producer Randy all the time because I have no other life. Come on, I want to hear your Jodie Foster. I've never heard it.
Here's my Jodie Foster. Dr. Lecter, you were telling the truth back in Baltimore, sir. Please continue. That's my whole Jodie Foster.
That's it.
I do one line from the movie.
That's it. Or you got your mouth closed up a little bit like that. That's all you do. Yeah, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. That's going to be the Queen. Go ahead and buy your tickets. Tickets at the Queen online. Just Google tickets at the Queen. You'll see it. Jim Norton, and you're going to love the thing. What, Randy?
No, I was going to say it's Saturday at the Queen in Wilmington, Delaware. He's the funniest person on the planet. Go see him. Randy wants you to come to his house. He's got a suitcase full of hams, beer. Jimmy doesn't drink at all. Not a drop, right?
I don't drink. No, not at all.
You had someone called you one time and said, "What's it?" He was trying to get advice from you how to quit drinking, and he asked you and you were like loving and touching. You took it very seriously, and you were like. The kid was like, well, how do I have any more fun not drinking? And then there was some other drunken woman in the studio, and she's trying to just cut back. And you were like, shut up. and you're trying. So you do have fun. I mean, you haven't drank in decades, right? You enjoy your life, I would guess.
Oh, yeah. I mean, thank God for food addiction and prostitution. That really does make up for the not drinking.
See? I tell you, the guy's hilarious.
He's the fastest comic on earth.
Sometimes it's only because it's
thank you.
sometimes it's only funny because it's wrong. All right, Jim Norton.
And it's true. Thank you, guys.
All right, buddy.
Thank you, Jimmy. Love you, buddy. You're the best.
That was good. That was great. What a great guy. Huh?
Go see him Saturday night at the Queen in Wilmington. Jim Norton. Amazing.
You're going to rerun this on Saturday?
We're going to rerun it, the entire Saturday segment. It'll be at 12, 12:30, 1:30.
So go see him tonight, then, if it's Saturday at the Queen Theater here in Wilmington.
Stay tuned. More with Rick Jensen just ahead on 1150 AM, 1017 FM, WDEL.